So moving on to Amgen, it's acquiring Five Prime Therapeutics for $38 per share. That's a 79% premium and values the company at about $1.9 billion. Five Prime's lead asset is an antibody called bemarituzumab. It targets fibroblast growth factor receptor, which is overexpressed in 30% of non-HER2 positive gastric cancers, as well as other solid tumors. I think lung and breast and ovarian cancers have a pretty high percentage there. There might be potential to treat those indications in the future if Amgen wants to go after them beyond gastric cancer. They tested the drug in a phase 2 clinical trial for gastric cancer. It improved progression-free survival, overall survival, and had a high overall response rate. Amgen talked up the potential to fit into its growth strategy in Asia, where gastric cancer is particularly prevalent. But Amgen already has a significant deal with Beijing to market its drugs in China, and Five Prime had already licensed the drug to Zai Labs. So I'm a little confused as to whether they want to go with Beijing or Zai Labs, or maybe they don't care because they're not going to go into China by themselves. And so having a partner, any large partner, is good enough. What are your thoughts, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at this more from the standpoint of Amgen, honestly. I think Amgen absolutely needs to make more acquisitions to boost its growth. If you look, 3 of their 4 top selling products have sales that are either flat or declining. And Amgen does have some other products, but they're biggies. Their top selling products are not being the growth drivers the company needs. The biggest growth story for Amgen right now is Otezla, and that's a product they acquired. They bought Otezla from Celgene to help facilitate Bristol Myers Squibb's buyout of Celgene. And so acquisitions, I think, are just very key to Amgen's fortunes going forward. Now, Five Prime's lead candidate is ready for phase 3 testing, like you said, in treating gastric cancer. So I think buying a late-stage candidate is probably a pretty good move for Amgen. Looks like a pretty good fit for the company. It remains to be seen if the price tag will be worth it. $1.9 billion for the late-stage candidate. It just depends on how the drug ends up faring in those late-stage studies. But overall, I think it's probably a good move, but we'll have to wait and see to know for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think if they get positive phase 3 data, they'll definitely earn back that $1.9 billion and then some. But risk adjusted, is it worth $1.9 billion? That's I think the phase 2 data looked solid enough, and Amgen obviously thought it was worth more. Although you could argue that investors before Amgen stepped in, didn't think it was worth nearly that much. So we'll have to wait and see.